Greetings, good people, and welcome back. All right. Hot topics time, ladies and gentlemen. And today's lineup is going to be interesting. So happy Wednesday to everybody. It's Wednesday, December the 17th, 2025. And Mariah the Scientist got proposed to by a man that I think doesn't even like her. But we'll get into that. As you are coming in, please pay your admission fee by hitting the like button. Make sure you drop down in the comments and share your thoughts. All right. So we have the Breakfast Club on the lineup. They are moving to Netflix. We're going to discuss that. We have an update for Nick Reiner, who is being accused of taking out both of his parents. He appeared in court today. I'm going to touch on that. And as I said before, Mariah the Scientist was proposed to publicly by Offset. Young Thug. All right, so we got some other hot topics sprinkled in between. Before we get into those juicy shenanigans, we have church announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, this man took it upon himself in a Baptist church in Macon, Georgia, right? He got up on a podium and he pretty much shuts down the live stream. The service was being streamed live. A lot of churches do that. They've been doing that for the past several years. Anyway, so he takes the podium and to go off on the church's gay members. All right. Let's take a look and a listen to what this angry man had to say. Like to hear it? Here you go.
How to get some help. And then this right here gonna really shock you. This right here gonna really shock you. Get what else they coming to church doing? Being gay!
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta come here being gay. Get a look, bring a little gay spirit in him. Yeah, walking past like this. Yeah. Yeah, you at church being gay. How dare you? Want to get tight, deep undercovers. You feel me? Got these undercovers scattered throughout here. I got a couple of y'all be looking at me. I'm telling you, boy, you ain't gonna stick nothing at me.
So the church shut down the live stream, y'all. They said cut the cameras, dead ass. Okay? So I don't know exactly who this man is. I don't know if he's a parishioner. The fade out, though, right? When I saw this, they faded out. That was hilarious. You know, this is really, really interesting. I don't know what the church building has become, but it has just become one big Saturday Night Live skit. And it's a lot of these churches. They just operate in foolishness. You can feel however you want to feel. I believe that there's a time and a place for certain things, and I believe it in the way that you do things, right? It just seems more and more every time I click on social media, there's some foolishness going on in these church houses. Now, I would like to say I'm sure it's not, I know it's not all churches, but it's a large majority, okay? Let's get into these comments because that's the funniest part of this entire video. Someone wrote, he is fighting like hell inside. I pray he makes peace with his sexuality. Someone else said, nobody. Him. If y'all think I came to play with y'all, God damn it, I'm not. Lord, I got some things I want to say. He definitely a power top. My goodness. Boy, 2025 going out with a bang, ain't it? 2025 is absolutely positively ghetto. So this type of behavior does not surprise me in the least, okay? It seems that the general consensus in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen, is that this man is battling his own sexuality, okay? If you couldn't make out what he was saying, he was basically saying that there are people who are bringing their gay spirit into the church and they're walking past, he claims that they're walking past him, looking at him like he's a tender piece of meat, okay? I don't know if I believe that, but anything is possible, okay? Someone else wrote, us gay men have taste, sir. I doubt any one of them is thinking that. Ladies and gentlemen, moving along, I'd like to take this time to point out the fact that there are multiple ways for you to support the platform. Okay. Yes, I am passing around the virtual collection plate. All right. You see the Cash App information is on the screen. The PayPal information is on the screen as well. You can also join the channel membership. Okay. There are 2 tiers and you also have the option to join Patreon. It's patreon.com/SheRoyalB, all one word. All right. Any support is greatly appreciated. All right. And as far as the membership is concerned, you can just look in the description of this video and click on join membership. You'll see 2 tiers. You can join whichever one floats your boat. Same thing, the link for Patreon for you to join Patreon, $7 a month for exclusive Patreon content. The link is in the description of this video. All right. All right. So I'll leave that up there for a few more seconds until we move on to the next story. All right. Collection plate passed around. Thank you kindly. Up next. So I saw this last night, but I wanted to wait until today to talk about this, okay? If you watch my Hot Topics video from Monday, I think, was that Monday? Monday's date was the 15th. I talked about Netflix announcing their deal with iHeartMedia, that they're going to be closing a deal. They're soon to be closing a deal with iHeartMedia. And I posed the question, well, this means that the Breakfast Club is going to be going over there. And then I asked the question about Charlamagne's Black Effect Network. He has a couple of podcasts under his network, which is under iHeartMedia. So I was curious to find out what podcasts would be going over to Netflix. So there's no surprise that this announcement that the Breakfast Club starting January 2026 will be moving to Netflix. All right. So Netflix inked the deal with iHeartMedia. They're basically competing with YouTube. Okay. They're wanting to get the visual portion of podcasts over to Netflix. That's really what this is all about. So the article that I pulled this from was the Grio. Okay. So this week, the streaming giant announced that it has signed an exclusive video podcast deal with iHeartMedia, bringing a slate of popular video podcasts to the platform. Okay. So the Breakfast Club being one of them. There's a couple of other podcasts that I'm not familiar with, except for Joe and Jada Kiss, the rapper, and Fat Joe. They have a podcast, so that's going to be moving over. The visual portion is going to be moving over to Netflix, right? So the announcement came just weeks after Netflix struck a similar deal with Spotify in October, as the company continues to grow its podcast offerings and compete more directly with YouTube, which currently dominates the video podcast space. Now, I did give commentary about this, and I said, I'm not sure if Netflix can compete or win this seemingly one-sided competition, right? It's like a one-sided beef with YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is a powerhouse. Also, I wonder if it's a good idea for these podcasts to visually exclusively be on Netflix, right? So what this basically means is, you know how you see the interviews on YouTube from the Breakfast Club's YouTube channel? You won't be able to see the visual portion of that anymore on YouTube. Netflix will own all of the content, the visual content for all these other podcasts, including the Breakfast Club, right? So is that a good idea? For Netflix, I'm sure it is, but for the creator, maybe not necessarily, right? And the interesting part of all of this is that the employees of the Breakfast Club, right? They didn't have a choice. If you are going to you're going to re-sign your contract with the Breakfast Club, you don't own iHeartMedia. iHeartMedia can make whatever deals with whoever they want. So you don't even get to have a say-so. Hey, no, I want to keep my visual on YouTube. Nope. iHeartMedia says, nah, we inked this deal with Netflix, and a part of the contract is you can't have the visual portion of your podcast on YouTube any longer. Now, the problem is, for instance, I have Netflix now, right? I pay 20, whatever the heck it is for Netflix. Do I watch Netflix like that? To be honest with you, no. I probably watch Disney Plus or use Disney Plus and Hulu more than I do Netflix, but it's something that I've had for years. Now, what is the pricing going to look like for 2026, 2027? I'm for certain that the price is going to increase. A lot of people in the comments, these have been posted all over social media, but a lot of people are saying that they're not paying to watch no damn Breakfast Club or any of the other podcasts. So I'm curious to see how this happens, how this rolls out, and what's going to become of this. This is really an interesting time to see how media is shifting. With people getting fired from radio, they shaking things up on radio. Radio seems to be dying out, and podcasts are like the new radio. They're taking over. So the good thing is that it seems like the audio versions of the Breakfast Club and all these other podcasts, it's about like 30 podcasts that are going to be moving over to Netflix. The audio version is still going to be on like Apple, Spotify. I don't know if the audio version is still going to be on YouTube, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you go to the Breakfast Club's page, they upload the entire show, just audio, and then they upload, certain clips, interviews, and then they also go live. They started that earlier this year, if memory serves me correct. Like, they'll go live and you'll just see like behind the scenes stuff. They're also on Twitch. They started that recently. So are they still going to be able to stream on Twitch? If so, that's good, because Twitch is free, right? I think the Breakfast Club is free on Twitch, right? You don't have to pay or be a subscriber. So I'm just curious to see how this is all going to play out. Here's a question that I have. Is Lauren LaRosa going too? Because all I'm reading is Charlamagne Envy and Jess Hilarious, the host. Even though I know that Lauren's title over there at the Breakfast Club is senior news producer, isn't she one of the co-hosts? She does the latest with Lauren LaRosa. She has her own segment. She sits in on interviews when she is there. So is Lauren going as well? I watched the clip this morning where Lauren LaRosa had it in her latest with Lauren LaRosa, and she talked about it. And her voice seemed kind of shaky. She didn't mention anything. She didn't say anything like, we're going over to Netflix. I wonder, are they going to have Lauren over there as well? It just seemed weird when she was reporting on it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you saw that, right? So, let me see. Like I said, audio-only versions of the show will continue to be available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Once launched, the full video experience will move exclusively to Netflix and will no longer be available on YouTube. That's crazy. I wonder if they're happy about that. I mean, I know that they're happy that they're moving to Netflix, but to leave YouTube? I don't know. That's very interesting. And I also want to see what other podcasts are going to be shifting over to. Some of them that they mentioned, I had no idea who the heck they were. But let me know what you think. 2026 is going to be an interesting year. Let me know what you think, guys. All right. Shifting gears completely. I thought that this was very interesting. This woman says that there are no positive Black TV shows like there were in the 90s. All of them, we're, what? Just listen to what the girl had to say. I agree with her wholeheartedly. Like to hear it go.
And find not one single show that portrays my community in a positive light. We used to have Martin. We had Living Single. We had Sister. We had
all of them were drug dealers and murderers. Is that supposed to be we're or were? Okay.
All that. We had a different world where Black people was at college.
Mm-hmm.
We could see that on the Cosby Show, this Black man is a doctor, so I can go be a doctor if I want to. Carl Winslow was a police officer. I could go be a police officer if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have not a single show that portrays us in a positive light. The whole Power Book series is so good. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's a very good series. It's very interesting. The storyline is great.
Come on, Hair.
But in all of them, we drug dealers and murderers.
Oh, weird.
It ain't a single show. A little Black girl can't turn on the TV and see a mama and a daddy in a household thriving. It's either us doing something that's bad, or it's reality TV, which is just showing Black women fight other Black women over nothing, like men. We even had cartoons like The Proud Family. We had That's So Raven. We had stuff that portrays the Black community in a positive light. We don't have that anymore. And there's a certain aura that you get when you watch stuff like that. Like, dang, I wish I was around during those times. But now when you turn on the TV, it is not a single show that you can go to that is portraying Black people in a positive way. Even Tyler Perry can't get it together. That's crazy. Little Black girls is turning on the TV and admiring BBLs and lace fronts fighting over men. And a lot of y'all gonna cancel me because y'all watch that stuff. And no tea, no shade. My little sister watch it. I hate that stuff. My mama watch it. it's the black community. It's nothing else on TV. If you ain't watching sports or you ain't going back and watching 1,000 reruns of Living Single and Martin and stuff like I do, it's really nothing positive feeding the black community on TV anymore. And that is a whole nother agenda. That is crazy. I never thought you used to turn on the TV and it'd be a bunch of different good black shows. Why, as a black person, I can't turn on the TV?
She's right. And I did misread that. And all of them were drug dealers and murderers. She's saying in all of the shows now, the way black people are portrayed, they're portrayed as drug dealers and life takers. I agree with her. I wonder how old she is. The good thing is that there are streaming platforms where you can watch old shows and reruns, because that's what I do. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Girlfriends. I'm a huge Martin fan. I don't care how many times I've seen all of the episodes. I still watch Martin, Living Single, The Cosby Show, Different World for sure. There are very little black sitcoms, right, that portray black families and black people in a positive life. Y'all remember the show Cosby with Felicia Rashad and Dougie Doug? That show, hilarious. I like that show. So yeah, I watch a lot of, like, even with music, I listen to a lot of like 90s hip hop and R&B, dance hall, reggae, 90s, you know what I mean? Early 2000s, yeah. But she's right. I saw somebody in the comments write, The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer is good. I thought they canceled that show, or they are going to cancel that show. Someone else also mentioned The Wonder Years. I remember when they revamped The Wonder Years, and it was an all black family. Canceled it after 2 seasons. That show was so freaking good. So good. I like the original Wonder Years. I remember watching that growing up. And then also when they redid The Wonder Years, good show, good writing, good acting, canceled it after 2 years. Abbott Elementary is it's not a family sitcom, right? Like, you had your Fresh Princes and you had your Cosby shows, so on and so forth, and Family Matters, of course. So, and that's all by design, okay? That's all by design. Same thing with music. Too much positive, images of us in music and on the screen. They had to break that up. When you look at what's popular for the past maybe decade, it just promotes degenerate behavior. And she's right. A lot of these reality TV shows, look how much money these girls are making to tear each other's eyelashes off and kick each other in the back, literally. They're making so much money, more than the average hardworking 9-to-5 person, like a teacher or someone in the medical field who's making an impact in the world. These reality TV degenerates are making way more money than these 9-to-5 people. It's crazy, but it is by design. If you listen to the music from back in the late 80s throughout the 90s, and then you shift to the 2000s and 2010s, you'll see it. Look at what they used to rap about, what they used to sing about. It's all by design. So I mean, I've noticed it. Obviously, a lot of people have noticed it, but it's really interesting. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. It's just the degenerate culture. When you see how much influence they have, every time you turn on the TV or you're on social media, you see the promotion of degenerate behavior by black people. They platform foolishness. They platform people who are unwell. And people eat it up. You can watch and listen to whatever the hell you want to watch and listen to. But like I said, this is all by design. All by design. And a lot of people in other countries, their perception of black women is that of what you see on baddies. And that's crazy to me. And I'm glad that a lot of the older shows, the family sitcoms and the positive, representation of black people are still around for us to watch. What are you going to do if, God forbid, they completely wipe out all of these shows and you can't view them anymore? It's a sad state of affairs, ladies and gentlemen. It's the sad state of affairs. Are you guys liking the video? Please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. All right, moving along. So Young Thug proposes to Mariah the Scientist, and he did so on stage. All right. So he proposed last night to his girlfriend. I think they've been together for like 4 years. And he did this at his hometown hero, Young Thug and Friends benefit concert. This was in Atlanta. And again, this was last night. So it's all on video. I'm going to play the video. Now, Mariah the Scientist recently sat down for an interview a few days ago, and she said that she was ready to settle down and eventually have a child, right? Now, remember a couple of months ago, Young Thug was, all of his information was being leaked about conversations that he was having when he was on jail calls. He admitted to cheating on Mariah the Scientist, all types of crazy stuff. He claims, right, back then, that Mariah the Scientist ended the relationship. That's what he said. I thought that was BS because Mariah never came out and said that she ended the relationship. Mariah the Scientist, let's be clear, okay? And he also said in an interview, in a press conference or whatever, he was signing autographs. They asked, how's Mariah the Scientist? And he said he put a baby in her. So I'm saying to myself, when she said that she's ready to settle down and eventually have a child, I said to myself, is she already pregnant? And then a couple of days later, he proposes to her on stage at his concert. Let me play this for y'all so y'all can see. We're going to... You know what? No, we're not. I was just about to say we going to... Wait, hold up. No. That's not it. Hold on, y'all. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. I thought I had this queued up. That certainly ain't it. Oh, this is it here. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we are. I clicked the wrong thing. This is so cool.
What you say, man?
Thank you. Put it out.
What you say?
Guess I'm getting married.
What say y'all? What do y'all have to say about this? Here's another visual. The comments are hilarious, okay? Someone said all that money and this is the best he could do? Child. For the love of God, no. Everybody is saying no. I'm telling you, when I seen this, the first person that I thought about was Offset. Y'all remember when Offset came out during Cardi's concert and gave her flowers and will you marry me and all that? Or did he propose? I remember he came out during her concert. She didn't know that he was coming out, so she say anyway, but I believe her. When people do stuff like this, certain types of people like Young Thug and Offset, when they do this on such a grand scale, it's more about them than it is about the woman that they're proposing to, their partner. Because what is she going to say in front of all of these people? No. She said, I guess I'm getting married. That's not a yes to me, right? But she did say she wants to settle down and she wants to have children. I think she could possibly be pregnant already. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, do you, girl? She's young. What I here's what I have a hard time understanding. Oh, I don't think it's a hard time understanding. Here's what doesn't make sense to me. Not that it has to. This is just my opinion. Okay. And if you are listening at this point, then you're interested in hearing my opinion. All right. You're entitled to yours. I'm entitled to mine. How is it that so many people cannot recognize that their significant others don't even like them, let alone love them? You know, I get it. People think everybody's definition of love is different. Sure. Okay. I just feel like it's not difficult to be in a relationship if you want to be in a relationship and if you want to be committed and if you are serious about crucifying your flesh as not to jeopardize the relationship with the person that you claim you love. People do exactly what they want to do, right? And maybe cheating is normal or disloyalty is normal to a lot of people, but that's not normal to me. You know, if you profess your love for someone, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, and you're not even married and you can't even subdue your flesh, you're ruled by lust. And I'm not just talking about lust and having relations with other people, lusting after so many other things. How the hell is it going to change overnight when you get married? If it stinks at night, baby girl, it's going to be rotten by the morning. Okay? And it's like, I don't know, like I see it all the time. Like behaviors repeat themselves in different forms of people. People are a lot more alike than they are different. Only a true scientist would know this. Don't make no sense. Only a true scientist would know this. Don't make no sense. This is hilarious. Someone else wrote, I mean, I didn't hear yes. She said, I guess we getting married. LOL. When my man popped that question, I'm going to be jumping and screaming, yes, yes, yes. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Right after she said she want to be married before babies. LOL. Right. Girl, y'all remember when Offset did this with Cardi? Mariah, girl, run. You are young and seemingly successful. That's no shade. Girl. Somebody said, Mariah, go fart and lay down. Sleep on it and come back with some sense. Oh, girl, thoughts and prayers. This is a hostage situation. Ain't no way she fell for the okie doke, right? It's 2025. You don't fell for the okie doke. This is ghetto. This is absolutely positively ghetto. The best way that you can show someone that you care is by your actions, man. It's like kind of like take what you can get. Why is everybody taking what they can get when it comes to stuff like this? Marriage is a serious union, and I always say in real life, and I've said it on my channel as well, marriage is for grown-ups. What y'all got going? Like, y'all desperate? Are y'all desperate? Y'all desperate for a man? He desperate. He desperate thinking, oh, she gonna go and find better than me. So let me lock this down. This some sick-ish, y'all. This is really some sick-ish. But you let me know what you think. We've seen this one too many times. I really wonder if that girl is pregnant. And no, it ain't my problem. But still, it's just sad to see, you know? It's sad to see. Y'all be playing around with marriage. Go right on ahead, honey. All right, moving along. I want to get into Nick Reiner, y'all. I did not discuss the passing of his parents because I don't really like talking about when people's demise. I really don't. It's just heavy for me anyway. It's really, really heavy. But this is a sad and tragic story. I have a lot of questions, and hopefully you guys can help answer some of those questions. You know, it's a lot of y'all that are very, very intelligent. And it shows when you guys comment on certain things. And I just want to have like a discussion about this, right? So, in case you're wondering what the heck happened, um, Nick Reiner is the son of Robert and Michelle. I'm saying Robert. Rob and Michelle Reiner. Let me stop saying their name wrong. And they were found deceased in their home. Mr. and Mrs. Reiner were found deceased in their home on Sunday. The son, they have 4 children, 3 or 4 children, 3 children. Anyway, the son, Nick Reiner, was arrested Sunday. Okay? No bail, and he appeared in court today. So his arraignment is scheduled for January 7th. So let's get into this really quickly. So Nick Reiner, he appeared in a Los Angeles court today on Wednesday, December 17, 2025, over the taking out of his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner. After brief proceedings, his arraignment was postponed until January 7th. Defense attorney Alan Jackson told reporters, that's a heavy hitter. Google that name. The judge instructed cameras not to film Reiner. This is what a CBS reporter is reporting. Why? That's another thing. That's interesting. Why aren't cameras allowed in there? Anyway, I'll save my questions till the end. Reiner was behind a glass wall in a custody area, and he did not enter a plea. He only said, "Yes, Your Honor," to agree to the arraignment date. His lawyer had requested the postponement. He wore a suicide prevention smock as he appeared in shackles. This is what the Associated Press is reporting. Why aren't there cameras allowed in there? After the court appearance, Jackson told reporters the case needed to be treated with restraint and with dignity. This is Nick's lawyer. This is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family, he said. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. So that's an image of Nick Reiner. So it looks like it's not a dress that he has on. It's like a smock to prevent him from taking his life, because apparently he's on taking his own life watch. It's so crazy how we have to skirt around certain words. We can't say certain words or it'll blow up your whole video on here. Anyway, Jake and Rami Reiner, Rob and Michelle's other two children, released a statement Wednesday saying that they were grateful for the outpouring of condolences, kindness, and support. Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we're experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends. This is what they said in the statement. We now ask for respect and privacy, for speculation to be tempered with compassion and humility, and for our parents to be remembered for the incredible lives they lived and the love they gave. Okay. So Nick Reiner, he is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree M-word with special circumstances, Los Angeles County District Attorney announced on Tuesday. So the district attorney basically said that the charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole or the death penalty, but that his office hasn't decided which to pursue. Okay. I'm reading all this for a reason, because it's crazy. And I'm going to get into the video of when they actually arrested him. I'll get into that after reading this. So Rob Reiner and Michelle Singh, okay, basically they were found, deceased in their home over the weekend. Newly released video shows Nick Reiner inside a gas station convenience store hours after the situation and just moments before he was arrested on Sunday. Video from outside the store shows the LAPD arriving and arresting him. He did not resist arrest, according to police. He is now being held without bail in a jail in downtown LA. The district attorney's office confirmed in a statement that Rob and Michelle, they were stabbed to death. It wasn't clear as of Wednesday, today, it wasn't clear as of Wednesday morning when exactly the attack happened or how long the couple had been deceased before their bodies were discovered on Sunday. So you discovered it was the daughter. It was being reported that their daughter discovered them. It didn't really give detail. Did she walk in the home and see them, or well, obviously she had to have walked in the home, but was she coming by on a regular visit? Did she have a key? I guess all of this is going to play out in court, but I have questions, right? So it's being reported that the daughter discovered her parents. Both of them were stabbed to death. Okay? Both of the bodies of the Reiners were discovered on Sunday. They arrested the man, the son, the same Sunday they arrested him. And they found him at a convenience store about 15 miles or so from his parents' house. So not even 24 hours after it was discovered that the Reiners were deceased in their home, he was arrested. I'm saying that for a reason. So the day before, they had gone to a party at Conan O'Brien's where Rob and Nick Reiner had a brief but loud argument. That's not unusual. Sources who were there told CBS News. So Nick, that's the son, checked into a hotel in Santa Monica about 4 miles away early Sunday morning. Two sources told CBS News. So police, this is what I don't understand. Police have not released details about evidence in the case or any information about a possible motive or what led them to arrest Nick Reiner. Why not? Is it to preserve the information for the sake of the case? Will they release evidence? If he checked into a hotel, is there surveillance of him all bloody? Nick Reiner checked into a hotel in Santa Monica about 4 miles away early Sunday morning. Okay, weren't they out Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's house late Saturday night? So him checking into Sunday morning the next day, they checked into a hotel. He checked into a hotel 4 miles away from his parents. So maybe his parents didn't want him to stay there because they're saying that he is a drug abuser, and I get, if they had an argument at Conan O'Brien's party, then he probably wouldn't, parents probably wouldn't want him to stay there. He probably ain't want to stay there. All right, fine. So I'm going to the hotel down the road. Police have not released details about evidence in the case or any information about a possible motive or what led them to arrest Nick Reiner. Yes, what grounds did you have for an arrest? And how did you know that he was at that convenience store? How did you find him? I'm not saying that he didn't do anything. I'm not saying that he did do anything, but it's just very interesting. Maybe because it's so early on, this is fresh, so they're just not releasing a lot of information as not to taint the case, right? Because an investigation is still being done. You don't know how long the Reiners were deceased in their home. Did he act alone? Did he have someone with him? So this just goes into talking about who Rob Reiner is. If you're familiar with All in the Family, he was Archie's son-in-law. He called him Meathead. Then he went on to produce a whole bunch of films. His wife was a photographer. I think she was in the industry as well. Okay. They're saying here that on the day that the couple was found deceased, they had plans with their longtime friends, the Obamas, and they were supposed to be hanging out that evening. And Michelle Obama, she appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show on Monday night and said that she was supposed to be seeing them. They were supposed to be seeing them the previous night. What tipped them off? All right, let me get into this video. So this is when they arrested him. Okay. All right.
We're seeing new video of the moment Nick Reiner, son of director Rob
Now, what is going on?
Reiner, was taken into custody. Reiner seen with his hands in the air. LAPD officers and U.S. Marshals.
I think it's because I have my I have my ad blocker on. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can refresh this. Oh, here we go.
Swarming into that intersection, putting Reiner on the ground. We're seeing new video of the moment Nick Reiner, son of director Rob Reiner, was taken into custody. Reiner seen with his hands in the air,
Oh my
LAPD
gosh.
officers and U.S. Marshals swarming into that intersection, putting Reiner on the ground and handcuffing him. Just moments before this new video shows him inside a gas station, the scene playing out just hours after his parents were found stabbed to death. And the Los Angeles District Attorney has now charged Nick Reiner with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
These are some of the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring against anyone.
The DA says Nick Reiner killed his parents with a knife. Sources say Romy Reiner, the daughter of Rob and his wife Michelle, found the couple dead at their home Sunday with stab wounds. According to the New York Times, a massage therapist called Romy when no one answered at the Reiners' home. Romy then came over with her roommates, went inside, and found her father's body. Earlier this morning, we spoke to longtime Reiner family friend Barry Markowitz, who worked as cinematographer on their film Being Charlie. He says he stayed with the family just 3 weeks ago.
Nick looked good the last time I was there, and he was on the upswing.
Nick has now hired high-profile defense attorney Alan Jackson, who said Tuesday Nick Reiner has not yet been medically cleared for court.
Every single inmate goes through a medical clearance before they can be transported to court. Every one of them. Okay. And that's a process. It's just a procedural issue. And he has not yet been medically cleared.
Sources say Saturday night, Nick Reiner and his father got into an argument at Conan O'Brien's holiday party, where Nick was described as acting strangely. Reiner's been open about his longtime battle with drug addiction, previously estimating he's been to rehab at least 18 times. A memorial has now been set up on his father's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And overnight, the couple's close friends, including Billy Crystal, Martin Short, and Larry David, calling Rob and Michelle a special force together, saying in a statement to the Associated Press, "There's a line from one of Rob's favorite films, It's a Wonderful Life. Each man's life touches so many other lives, and when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? You have no idea."
And the DA has not said what sentence they would be pushing for if there's a conviction, but if Nick Reiner is convicted of these first-degree murder charges, he could face life in prison without parole or potentially the death penalty.
I don't know, y'all. This just seems odd. And maybe it's because there isn't much information. Well, I didn't watch the video before recording this, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I wanted my reaction to just be like, authentic, I guess. So I guess the massage therapist was supposed to be coming over, I guess, for an appointment. They didn't get anything. They called the daughter. The daughter, she went in there and saw her father first. How did they find him at who gave them his name? Let me tell you something. That Alan Jackson, Google him. That's a very high-profile defense attorney. This just seems so incomplete. And like I said, it could be because this is fresh and they are protecting the information, the evidence. And I don't know. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they had something to arrest him, because we've seen instances where people were wrongfully accused of things. He's being held without bail. How did they know where to locate him? He was in a convenience store. How y'all find him? Not even 24 hours after his parents' body was discovered. It's so many missing puzzles. Am I the only one that feels this way? But again, they probably wouldn't release all the evidence anyway, right? I mean, right? It's too soon. They obviously had, quote unquote, enough to charge him with and for him not to post bail. I guess what it is that I'm asking is what evidence they had. I want to know what evidence they had. And he didn't resist. That's interesting too. I don't know, y'all. When it comes to these people who are associated with or in Hollywood, you never know. It's always some sketchy, fishy, weird situation. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but if he acted alone, him by himself with one weapon, It's not impossible, but it's just weird. I've been thinking about this for like since yesterday. And then this information today, him going to court. We'll see how this plays out. This is going to be interesting. But again, like I said, whenever people are in the industry and a part of that crowd, there's always something fishy going on when things like these happen. So I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty, but this is just very, very, very interesting. Okay. But let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got. Oh, we've been on here for 45 minutes. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for rocking out with me till the end. Be sure to like the video, drop down in the comments, and share your thoughts. Let me know what you think about today's hot topics, okay? All right, well, I'm signing off, but I'll be back soon, so don't worry. I love you for watching, and as always, I will talk to you later.